Welcome to the Edson Breedy Experience.
Welcome everybody
Hi.
to the the second episode of the Edson Breedy Experience. Today I'm here with my lovely cousin Nikkita Romain, the current national senior bikini fitness champion, which is one of the categories of bodybuilding. And we're going to be doing a little chat about bodybuilding and some other stuff. So, welcome, cuz. Thanks for coming on.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Okay. So, before we jump into it, I just want to thank our sponsor, Synapse Medical Services Limited, which is a medical company that specializes in neurological services, which would kind of cater to people who might be experiencing migraines, headaches, back pains. Maybe you might be a stroke patient, or you might have some sort of issue that is affecting your brain's functioning. So you can find Synapse Medical Services Limited on Instagram or Facebook, and they really have high quality services, and I strongly recommend them. I know the doctor who is in charge of their operations very well, and I strongly recommend him, Dr. Nicholas Mirage, and he will be on the podcast very often as well. Okay, so thanks Synapse Medical Services for believing in our idea, which is to have authentic conversations with interesting people. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about when I found out Nikki started doing bodybuilding and how it affected me starting the sport. So it was about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'd seen Nikki about 1 month before, like maybe in November or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, and then Nikki came over a month later to just hang out, and she had completely transformed within just about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was seeing you walk up the stairs to the house, and I was really baffled as to specifically your shoulders because
Yeah.
your delts were like poking out, and it was a huge change, and I had never seen someone's body change so quickly. So I started asking you about what kind of training you're doing, who you're training with, and you explained, you're training with Perry,
Correct.
well, Coach Perry Jerome, who is the president of the
The
Bodybuilding Federation.
Vice President of
He's
the
currently
Bodybuilding
vice president,
Federation. Correct.
right? And you tell me that basically you're training 5 days a week and you're getting these great results.
Yeah.
And the results were so astounding that I signed up the next day. The next,
Literally,
I
the
called.
next-
Actually,
the next
I
day.
got his
Yeah.
number that night, and I called him. I was just like, "Hey, can I start training with you?" And I was like, "What time? Can I come 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock?" I think I went. So we hanging out at night. It was
Yeah.
like
It was
maybe
probably like a
9
Saturday
a.m.
night or
Yeah.
something. Like,
It was a Sunday night, I
Yeah.
think, and we were hanging out about 8
yeah,
p.m.
it was in night time.
Yeah, and I booked an appointment to start training the next day,
following day.
6 a.m. in the morning, right? And I've been training with him on and off ever since.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of I want to try competing in the sport, right? And so I'm going to be competing. We'll be competing. We'll be on stage. We'll be competing together this year, right?
Quite possibly, because I think
They're merging the
they're
two
merging
competitions.
the juniors and seniors this year.
Right. So, so I'm aiming to compete in bodybuilding with Nikki. So we'll both be trying to prep for August, right?
Exciting.
For nationals.
Exciting.
Yeah. So, Nikki, what made you start do bodybuilding?
Honestly, like some years ago, I had seen some women who compete, and I just absolutely loved not just how they looked aesthetically, but I just loved the confidence that they had, the way that they carried themselves, and just how strong and feminine they looked. And it's something that just always intrigued me. And it was something, and I said, you know what, I want to do that. And it has always been in the back of my mind. I started training maybe when I was 21, but the general, you go to the gym, like it's carnival, you train really hard, and then after carnival, you kind of fall off. So I've been training for a long time, but never like this.
Right.
But in the back of my mind, I always just loved how those women not just looked, but just how the confidence that they exuded. And it was something that I said, I just want to do that and I want to be like that.
Okay, okay. So you said you were training before you started training with Perry.
Correct.
Have you noticed what is the biggest difference in how you used to train and now, like maybe in technique, and how you used to train before, as compared to now training with Perry?
Oh my God. So
Anything stands out?
a couple of things. Well, I've never had
Sure.
this type of transformation before. I've never looked like this. In all the years I've been training, I've never looked the way I look now. But what stands out to me is that in his training, he is very descriptive in terms of why we're doing what we're doing. So there's always a reason. It's not just, okay, today's legs and we just do legs. For example, my leg days are separated. I have quad days, or I have hamstring days, or I have glute days, and it's very specific to where we need to be. And he's very knowledgeable in terms of explaining to me why we're doing what we're doing.
Okay, okay. In the actual way you do the exercises, is there a difference? How you used to do it? You used to
I-
do the same timing and
I think before,
same weights and stuff?
so I've never lifted the amount of weights that I lift now in terms of it's never been as heavy.
Okay.
One and two, before there was not a lot of, again, mind muscle connection. And again, it goes back to what I said before. I now understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. So it's not just, okay, let's just do bicep curls. Why am I doing bicep curls?
Be more intentional.
Correct. It's
with
very
the
intentional
movement.
in terms of I need my body to go from this to this. So this is why we're doing these types of exercises. This is why we're doing it so frequently. This is why we're doing it in this tempo kind of thing.
Right.
So for me, I guess that understanding makes me train differently.
Do you enjoy the actual act of lifting weights?
Yes.
What do you enjoy about it? Because a lot of people a lot of people who don't lift, they don't get it.
Yeah.
But so like, what is it that you enjoy about lifting weights?
I enjoy, again, like when I feel things happening. So again, that mind muscle connection. I know why I'm doing what I'm doing and I understand the purpose of it. It hurts. Yeah. It hurts. Yes, it does hurt.
Does it hurt all the time? Every session you find?
No. But
All body parts, like on each day, or just like legs, or
well, for me, all body parts, you feel some sort of soreness while you're doing the exercise, but it's not like, oh my God, this hurts, I can't do it. But it hurts in terms of I can feel contraction in a part of my body that would normally be dormant.
Do you have a least favorite body part to work on?
This is going to come as a surprise, but my least favorite is legs.
yeah, because the pain, right?
Yeah. So most people see me and they're like, oh my God, your legs are so nice. And I'm like, thanks.
They hurt.
So when I hear people say, oh my God, leg day is my favorite, I'm like, you're not doing it right.
No, people just like to say that because
Yeah.
they think it sounds cool.
Yeah. Actually, shoulders and back are my favorite day.
Because it's the least painful.
No, actually, I feel the strongest when I do shoulders and back.
Okay.
Especially as
But
a
you mean
female.
you feel the strongest, just the act of lifting the weights, the way you're lifting it.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I feel the strongest. Like when I can actually feel my shoulders contracting or my back muscles contracting, and then like I see the pump and the same thing
Right.
where I like actually see a pop in my delts. I'm like, okay, strong.
So I feel like a lot of the times I don't feel pain during the workout. I
Yeah.
just get like a very nice contraction.
Yeah.
And even if I feel like, hopefully I'm feeling the
Yeah.
last rep or whatever, it still often feels very good, almost like a massage, or it feels like a massaging sensation. Same thing I experience when I'm stretching,
Okay.
but legs, it almost always hurts.
Yeah. Legs are.
Well, specifically, I think it depends on your body and, like, I guess how your blood vessels are. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know, but specifically like squats and squats and lunges. Those are very. I don't enjoy those. Those are definitely very painful. I always hope that Perry will just be like, no, today we will only do XYZ, but
Yeah, no, legs are brutal. And I was, so before training with Perry, for example, I never liked training hamstrings. But because my body is naturally quad dominant, we don't necessarily train quads that much. We train hamstrings
right.
way more than we train any other.
Why don't you like hamstrings? I find that one feel good. So that one is really massage thing.
So I don't know. I just never liked training hamstrings. I guess my body was naturally quad dominant, so I just uh, like like I veered towards those types of exercises. And nobody ever told me, okay, well, your body's naturally quad dominant. We need to build your hamstrings to make your leg look like a full, proper, structured leg before Perry. But now, oh my gosh, I like the burning sensation
Right.
of training hamstrings.
Hamstrings. Okay. All right. So, what do you think is the most common misconception about bodybuilding?
Well, especially for, I can speak about female bodybuilding.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that there are different categories when it comes to bodybuilding, especially female bodybuilding. So I'm a bikini athlete. And each category has very specific criteria in terms of what the judges are looking for and what the athletes are supposed to present. Different poses, different suits, that type of thing. I think the biggest misconception in terms of bodybuilding, when people hear I'm into bodybuilding, they think that I'm just going to become this really large, massive,
Ripped
muscular, like a really lean woman. Because they don't understand that there are different categories or different divisions in bodybuilding, female bodybuilding very specifically. And each category or division requires a different look.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because I get that same thing where people think they're like, oh my gosh, Edson, you're going to be wearing like a thong on stage and you're going to become like 350 pounds. And that's what people immediately think is the thing that's
They
gonna
just
be
think
going
of
on.
like there's a really huge muscular person.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo, more or less.
Yeah.
Hulk.
So, I mean, as we're on the category, so like, for example, for guys, you went through the female categories. The guy categories are men's physique, which is the one I want to compete in. So that's the smallest body type. And you have to wear board shorts.
Correct.
You're not judged on the size of your legs. So the judges aren't allowed to take into consideration your knee to hips. Anything between your knee and hips, they're not looking at,
I
right?
actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so they can look at your calves. That's like part of the aesthetic, but they're not supposed to, as far as I understand,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm still a noob, I haven't competed as
Yeah.
yet. But my understanding is that legs not part of the calculation, right? So they also want to see a V taper, which is like your body coming
Like
in
you're
like
trapped
this.
into waist.
The abdominals
Yeah.
into the hips.
So not just that, from the shoulders. So they want to have like broad shoulders and then a narrow waist, right? And you aren't allowed to flex while on stage, which is interesting. So I mean, it kind of shows how different it is from what people perceive as the bodybuilding that gets the most traction because I guess it gets the most attention, seeing these huge, gigantic people.
Yeah.
That's what people really want to see a lot of times, right? So so you aren't allowed to flex. So your hands have to be open.
Okay.
It's the same thing for you, right?
My hands have to look
Soft.
Soft.
Yeah.
just feminine. I can't look like I'm flexing anything. I guess
Yeah.
it's the same thing. I can't look like I'm flexing anything or like struggling to be like,
To bulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way
look at my muscles.
the way Perry described it was that you have to look like a model. You're looking like
Yes.
a beach model or
Yes.
something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So then after men's physique, there's classic physique, right? There's classic, right?
Yes.
And then after classic, you wear shorter shorts and your
Yeah.
legs start being
Accounted
braided,
for.
right? And then after, I think it's a 5-inch black short that you
Okay.
wear. for
Yes.
classic.
Yes. They do wear black shorts.
Yeah. And then after that is bodybuilding, which is how big can you really get? So I think those are the three main
And then
categories.
bodybuilding is even split between lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight.
Yeah, I think
Yes. Yeah.
and they sometimes take height into
Yeah, there's a height to mass ratio that they
Yeah.
take into consideration.
And then there's all the flexing.
There's all the flexing.
all the flexing, you have all the moves to pump up. All they want to see that transition from dormant muscle to active muscle, I guess, in the bodybuilding.
So I know that there are also different federations
Yes.
that have different rule sets and posing rules. And I don't think our federation, there's like the whole dancing thing for the bodybuilders. The bodybuilders.
Yeah, they do a
They
routine.
do the dancing routine, like
When you
where there's
say
like pop,
dan-
where there's be like pop unlock it.
So I mean, you could pop and lock if you
if you
want
want
to, but yeah, they do a routine.
for the bodybuilder. If you're a bodybuilder,
If you're a bodybuilder,
classic is also just quarter turns, or they do routines too. You know, sure.
that part I'm not sure about.
The black. I think they just do. So again, for my own, you don't do a posing routine. You just there's one pose and you do quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn.
So you
and
don't have to do like a walk.
as far as I understand, like as far as I know, I just have to walk onto the stage.
Yeah.
And then they'll say turn,
Okay,
turn,
the
turn,
quarter
turn,
turns.
turn, and boom. That's,
Okay.
what you call in the walk? What you mean?
So for example, bikini, we have to do an I walk or a T walk. So when you come on stage, you just do a routine. You're just walking and I
Just
guess
walking.
You're walking. It's kind of like modeling and
Right.
showing different aspects of your physique.
Right.
I feel like
I have to do a walk.
you may have to do a walk,
Okay, I can handle that. I can handle a walk.
but I mean it's like less than a minute.
Right. What I can't handle is a dance
pop-
routine.
pop
I
locking.
Pop and lock and pop locking on the stage.
Pop,
in a
lock, and
talk-
drop
in a
it.
talk. I can't handle. I can't. I'm not ready.
That's a little
for-
bit too demanding.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much. A little bit too much. But did you hear about this new category that's opening up? Men's wellness.
No.
Yeah. So
What is men's wellness?
men's well. So after bikini fitness, there's
Women's
wellness.
wellness.
So-
Bikini wellness.
bikini wellness, which is when it's essentially a slightly more muscular version of
Yeah.
bikini fitness.
So
right?
bikini, you're supposed to be just very symmetrical. Nothing about you is supposed to stand out. When somebody sees you, they're just supposed to be like, oh my gosh, this girl is just proportionately like really nice aesthetically. Wellness, you have
Glutes
heavier
and
set legs and heavier set glutes. So when you see the person, you're like, oh my god, that person's legs and glutes, perfect.
Right. It
Yeah.
is the same thing with
What?
guys. With guys. With guys. With
So
guys.
I know there's a muscular men's physique.
So this is for I'm not going to say specifically transgender people,
Okay.
but it's essentially the guy is going to be wearing, from what I understand, like a bikini bottom as well, and it's about the roundness of the glute and the size of the legs.
This is
and,
quite
yeah.
interesting.
So they're trying to be like
The big booty guys.
yeah. So it's starting in Brazil, right?
So that's where the wellness category for bikini started as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's starting
Quite
up this year.
interesting.
Yeah. So yeah. What do you think about it?
I mean, I do think it's interesting. I think the sport is evolving, and we do need to take into consideration that there are different types of people
Yeah.
who would like to compete, and the sport needs to allow for those people to also feel included.
So good, and I agree with you because at the end of the day, if they didn't have bikini, if they didn't have men's wellness, I wouldn't have wanted to compete in bodybuilding because the bodybuilding or even classic physique, I think
Yeah.
it's just too huge.
So you want to be in wellness, men's wellness.
No, I don't want to do men's wellness. I think I could do all right, but I don't think I'll do men's wellness. But because there's this other smaller, less hard category
Yeah.
that I could be in. I'm like, hey, you know what? I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I want to see how good I could be at that category. And there'll be, like you pointed out, there'll be other people who.
Yeah, because I mean, again, the sport is evolving, and the same thing with the female categories, how women's wellness came into being, is because some girls, they want to be they have a bikini physique, however, naturally,
They're stronger.
for example, their legs are heavier set. That's just genetically how they are. So they will never progress or do really, really well in the bikini category. So there's now this bikini wellness category that they fit into. They fit the criteria based
Right.
on their genetics. So I think those things are important to understand how the sport is evolving and how you can allow for different types of people to fit into the sport as well.
Okay, so here's a good one. Do you think that since you started bodybuilding, you've experienced body dysmorphia?
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh no.
For sure. Yes.
So I'm
yes,
asking this,
yes.
but we kind of always laugh at it.
Yeah.
So I want to know, how you feel about it. Why do
Yeah.
you think that?
Elaborate.
It's kind of sad. This sport is about
Aesthetics.
somebody judging your body. It's about aesthetics. It's about how you look. And a lot of times when you are looking to the pros, you're looking to see, okay, what the top girls look like, what the top athletes look like. You're looking at an athlete who is stage ready. You're looking at an athlete who is on that, but those pictures are when that athlete is ready for the stage. And just to put things into context, you're generally not ready for the stage until 2 days to 3 days before the show.
Right.
There's a dry out period. There's just a period where you come down, you shed water, and I am looking at athletes that have already done that. They're ready.
Right.
They're on stage.
And then you're constantly comparing
And
where
then
you're at.
exactly, there's a constant comparison of where you currently are and those people. And I feel like in bodybuilding, it's never ending, because even if I win a show, the next show I don't want to come with the same look. I want to come with something different. I want to come tighter. I want to come in leaner. That kind of thing.
So you're also comparing your past self
Yes.
with the current self.
Yes. And it's like a never ending thing. There's always more to do. There's always a little further to go. So it's like you're never really satisfied. And so two things. One, you're comparing yourself to those athletes. And then when you've done the shows, you've done the competitions, and you know where you can be, and then you see your off season self, it's kind of like, oh my God, I have so much work to do.
Oh no.
But yeah.
So, I mean, I think we use the term loosely, body dysmorphia. But do you think we're using it loosely? Do you really think you have body dysmorphia? Or you just like realize that
So-
you've become hypercritical of your body?
So I think two things. I do think the term is used loosely, but let me give you just a story of when I first started. I was at the point where I would have lost weight rapidly at the beginning based on my old pre-training with Perry body, and then I started to train with Perry. Within a month, I was at the point where I didn't even want to go out because I didn't necessarily like how I looked.
Right.
And then my body was changing so rapidly. I don't think my brain had time to catch up with how I looked how I looked different every single day
What
or
year was
every
this?
single week. I started training with Perry in December of 2021. Yeah.
Right.
And just like people like asking me questions about, how I got so small or why I'm so small, or saying things like don't lose any more weight. Like those things started to really play on me, and I was at a point where I didn't even want to go out.
For a month. About a month.
No,
last
no,
month.
this is a month into me training.
Yeah. So, all right. So so I do think it's affected me as well. It's interesting. We joke about it, so I think we're still on the healthier end of
Yeah, I
the
agree.
healthier end of it. But like people would never guess how hard we are on ourselves.
Yeah.
Did you work out by chance? Did you work out on Monday morning?
This Monday?
Or Carnival Monday? Or Carnival Tuesday?
I did not, but I did see some gym people that I know work out, and I'm like, okay.
I did it.
You did?
I did. I had a plan. I had a little plan for Monday, and I did it, and it worked. I did a little.
Okay, so
I did a little thing.
what was the plan?
Oh no! So I just like had some 20s, and I did some. I did some side delts, front delts, and bicep curls.
What
and
is it?
push-ups.
Was it like a pumping thing?
Just for pump? Just for
Okay.
pump. Yeah, and so I had a nice pump on Monday, and then I was so exhausted after Monday. When I woke up Tuesday, I was like, I have no energy for.
But what I did do though, I did,
How did you see them work out? Oh, they posted that they worked out.
yeah.
Okay.
What I did do though, I did like the water cycle that I do,
Right.
as in,
You could have given me some cheat codes, Nikki. Why didn't you?
yeah, I did like the water fasting cycle that I usually do before a show.
What is that? What is that like?
So like I water load a cup. Let's say the week before the show, I water load probably Monday to Wednesday, and then my Thursday I cut my water. I have maybe 500 mLs of
How
water.
do you water? What do you call a water load for your weight? Like what is that exactly?
Just in terms of like drinking a gallon of water,
Right. Monday to Wednesday.
Monday to Wednesday, and then I cut the water
Right.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And that completely dehydrated you for Monday.
Yeah, and like I didn't eat carbs until when we went to Brainwash.
Right.
That was the first carb load that I had.
And then, so how did that carb load days before Monday affect the Monday appearance?
So
Because you're supposed to do that carb. You're supposed to do that carb on the same. You if it was a show, you do
If-
that on the morning of the
No.
day you want to look the best.
So
right?
if I have a show, I start carb loading maybe from the Friday. If the
If
show
the
is
show's
Saturday,
Saturday?
yeah.
Okay.
And the carb loading really depends on how you're looking, how dry you're looking, or how you want to look on stage,
Yeah.
or how full you want to look on stage.
How is your relationship with your mirror changed?
Mirror?
My mirror.
Looking at yourself in the mirror.
So I look at myself maybe 100 times for the day. If I pass, I'm like, what is this? What is happening? And I do that when I am in prep for a show, but depending on my mental state, if I'm like, oh my God, I'm not ready, like I literally pass the mirror and don't look.
You avoid the mirror.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Okay.
Yeah, so I have two moods. It is like, okay, well, what are we doing? Or it's like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with it.
I feel you. Right now, since my carnival prep, because I treated carnival as a pseudo competition to see what I could get and how disciplined I could be with my eating,
Yeah.
and I realized, oh wow, I need to be way more disciplined.
Yeah.
Right. But I got some enough body fat reduction for me to start being like, okay, I'm feeling confident. So I remember when I woke up Monday morning, I was like, okay, Edson, it is mass. Oh no, it was in Brainwash.
Yeah.
In Brainwash, I was like, I remember taking off my shirt, and I was like, hey, there was no like second guessing about taking off my shirt.
Yeah.
And I remember being in fets before, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I have to wait till I have a few more drinks to like completely null out any thoughts about like what my body looking like.
Any
Because, I mean,
insecurity.
in carnival fets, these have all these jack people around,
Yeah.
and it could make people feel weird. And I'm really, I'm envious sometimes about people who clearly don't care. They don't care what their body looks like, and they could just take off the shit and just be like,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, because those people be having fun. Because
They do, they don't
They
care.
really don't care. So that's really cool. So since from not Brainwash, I'm thinking Stink and Nutty. From Stink and Nutty, I started taking on my shirt, and I remember my dog really wants to be on the podcast.
What is his name?
Choreo.
Choreo.
Yeah. So I was talking about
You
taking
taking
about
off-
taking on my
People
shirt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember on Monday morning talking to myself because I knew I was looking at things. You know how you look. I
Yeah.
looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, they have some things I would have liked to
Yeah.
have different here. But then I was like, all right, Edson, you know you're being ridiculous. You know you're being ridiculous. Just you're looking better than you've looked for a long time. Just cancel it out and have fun now, right? And then I remember feeling proud of myself early in the morning, like for starting mass with my shirt off.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing other guys who I knew were fit guys and other people who were gym guys, and they had a t-shirt on, and I knew what was going on. I
Yeah.
knew that there was
They were
something
having
going,
that
something.
same
The thing is,
mental back and
the thing
forth,
is
yeah.
happening in their head, and they're like, they're expecting something from
Yeah.
me here, and I can't bring it, whatever. So they're going to put on a t-shirt,
Yeah.
which happens a lot. I'm not saying everybody did it or whatever, but I remember feeling like, okay, at least I got over this mental barrier of being comfortable enough to take off my shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
So That's cool.
What part of yourselves do you feel like you cover up when you're not satisfied?
My stomach.
Most likely
Yeah.
stomach.
So for me, it's definitely my stomach.
For me, it's my chest.
Okay.
For me, it's my chest. I'm sure you could get even more specific
Yeah.
about your stomach. There are things, they're like specific things. You're like,
Yeah, because I don't know. I just feel like with females, a fit like is like, oh, you're a fitness girl. You're in the gym like 6 days a week. Why don't you have abs? And I'm like, I don't
this
have.
is your own thought.
This is
though.
my own thoughts, and it's like I don't have abs until maybe the week before a show. Like, am I an imposter? Am I not really a fitness girl? Because I don't have abs all the time.
But are you a fitness girl?
I don't consider myself that.
No, and I kind of laugh at it when people ask me this question. They ask me like, "Are you eating healthy food, or are you are you, Edson, you doing all these healthy things?" But I'm not sure. Well, so I mean, my stance is this is like a delicate point, but I feel like from the time you start taking any sport seriously, like you're competing, it usually starts not being as healthy as if you're doing it casually.
I agree.
So like casually lifting weights 3 times a week for an hour, pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Pretty healthy to do. But we're lifting weights 5 days a week. We're supposed to be lifting weights 5 days a week. Well, for me,
I do
you do
6.
six,
I do
right? 6 days. And then ideally, we might be doing like an hour of cardio on top of that to get our body fat percentage down to
Yeah.
a place where if like once your body fat crosses a certain threshold, it's gonna start affecting physical processes like your hormones. Your hormones are made with fat. You need to have fat
Yeah.
to be able to make your
Yeah.
hormones.
Right.
So at some point in time when your body fat drops at a certain point, it starts affecting your libido
Right.
and your ability to just
Yeah.
function well.
Yeah, so this might be TMI, but when I'm training for a show, once my body fat becomes low enough, like my period stops sometimes.
Oh wow.
So it's not the healthiest. And because you have to remember, this is an extreme sport.
Yes.
So I
People may
mean, all
not-
sport. Oh, I think all sports. Once you're competing, you're like
Right.
you're at national level, or you're
Competitive.
trying to go international. Whatever sport you're doing, gymnastics,
Yeah.
martial arts, boxing. How healthy is boxing?
Yeah.
Well, by the time like you're competing, people are hitting you in the face as hard as they
Yeah.
can. You're a gymnast. Your feet are like getting jacked up. Your shoulder, everybody like taped up. You're getting damaged. So I mean, I feel like as I said, once you're
Yeah.
doing
And before that, you're like engaging in this rigorous training,
Yeah.
and you're trying to drop weight,
Yeah.
and all kinds of things are going on even before the
Yeah,
actual event.
Exactly. And like I would have mentioned, people being show ready or stage ready, and you're not ready for the stage until maybe 2-3 days before. And that's because it's not healthy for your body to stay in that state for a prolonged period of time.
yeah.
This is an extreme sport.
You know what's also is there a decrease in your mobility? Not really, because you don't have that much muscle on.
I'm
Have you
just
noticed?
tired.
I
Just exhausted.
Your body
Like that
feels-
last week is like I am running on fumes.
Right.
I'm doing no carb. I'm just running on fumes.
yeah, no carb.
No
can't be
carb.
healthy.
Plus, your body already has so little fat on it. Like there's nothing for your body to tap into.
Right.
So you're like you're 11 weeks out from a competition, right? Right now, yeah. You're 11 weeks out.
Apparently.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, yeah, Nikki coming over. I don't need to get pizza and how was other drinks today. She
Pizza?
could barely eat and you can't eat pizza 12 weeks out because I heard you doing you're not carb cycling or you carb cycling now. Or you're supposed to be carb cycling this week, right?
She looks around like, are you speaking to me?
I am supposed to be carb cycling.
It's funny because me and Nikki both love to eat delicious things.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
what is your of course you do. Do you have a favorite cheat meal?
There is a salmon pasta at Buzo.
Mm.
That is my absolute favorite cheat meal.
How often do you think you might get cheat meal?
There is no cheating. There is no cheat meal.
Oh, that's what Perry tell you?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, there's no. So, if I have a really long prep, maybe 20 weeks,
Yeah.
if he starts seeing some progress after like some time, maybe 8-10 weeks, he'd be like, yeah, you can have a burger and fries
Oh
or
my
something.
gosh. Today I went for a session with Perry and I sat down. He walked in and he said, "Your back looking real broad, Edson." And I was just like, really? Okay.
That's good, right?
Yay!
Yeah, because yeah. So
He's trying to get that
because
V
I'm trying to
shape.
get a big. I need
Right,
my back needs to
right.
get way
Yeah.
bigger, right? And my back is one of my weaker points. And well,
Really?
yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't put on.
Yeah.
Like my chest and my back just don't put on muscle. So like from the time my protein intake drops, like it takes my legs don't get affected. But I can see
Your
my
upper
chest.
body.
Like I could have like a decent chest on Monday, and 2 days past where I was like I was busy, and I didn't eat as much as I was supposed to,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, whoa,
Where
I
did my
look
chest go?
different 2 days
Wow.
later. Like I'll just shrink down.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Perry, for those who don't know, it feels really good to get a compliment
Oh my
from Perry because he's very specific about what he's looking for, and they don't come. They don't come very often. It'll come like once
Yeah.
every.
So
When I
Perry-
can't remember I can't remember getting complimented by Perry.
So Perry has this like real strong dad vibe. So it's like, you know, when you got a compliment from your dad or your dad tells you, you know, good job, it's kind of like, yes.
Yeah, it really felt that way. It really felt that way today. That's something else. What were we just talking about before?
Your,
that comment about
your chest and your back shrinking
before,
down.
before Perry comment.
Your back real broad.
Diet?
The diet and how it affects you. Right, yeah. So what's really interesting is that the one of the toughest things about it for me is the diet.
Agreed.
right?
Me too.
But it's not what most people think. It's that I often can't eat enough food, as much food as I'm supposed to eat to be able to put on the muscle for the workout. Which most people are like, oh, you're not eating. Yeah, it's hard to resist eating.
Rolls my eyes.
It's so because it's the opposite for you.
It's the exact opposite for me because I don't get to eat anything nice.
Right.
And for me, is it more of a mental thing to just eat these same things every single day, day in, day out? I don't know, at some points, I just start to crave things that I don't even eat. So I generally don't eat KFC or anything like that. But like certain parts during the prep is like, oh my God, I just want to drive into KFC in that drive-through and tell them I want a 2-piece and fries.
Peace and fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the diet for me is the hardest part and is the mental capacity to just stick to it. No matter how you feel for a little cookie, you had a good day, you had a bad
It
day.
takes
you
a
had
lot of
in between.
discipline.
Listen, that is the hardest part for me.
So right now I cheat almost every week. Almost every week. Once I'm on call at the hospital, my stress level gets to a certain point
Yeah.
where I need to have carbs, I need to really have something delicious that I think is delicious
Yes.
in order to get my mood stabilized, to be polite, as polite as possible with all the patients, because I need to be ultra polite and understanding. So at some point in time, I'm like, if I don't
Yeah.
eat this thing now, somebody will get.
You need
Yeah.
some kind of endorphin boost to
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
smile.
realize, before I started doing this, I didn't realize how much like food comforts you and how much you need. You know how people always talk about comfort food and whatever. For me, it was like, oh, I could eat the same thing all the time, blah blah blah. But now that I am intentionally eating the same things all the time, I'm like, listen, food is such
Yeah.
an addictive drug,
Comfort.
especially like sugar. Like I really like sweets, like pastries, cakes, like sweet things. And it like if I have a bad day, I'm like, oh my God, I just need a piece of cake, or I just need a Snickers or a chocolate or something. But you can't.
I am a pro chocolate advocate. I generally eat a more or less vegan diet, but I do eat seafood. However, I believe that chocolate is a big part of my diet. It's a necessary part of my
I
diet. It
agree.
makes me happy. And I think my happiness is so important. I can't live without chocolate. I don't see
agree.
a life without chocolate. I just can't.
Luckily, sweet isn't the thing that I'm often craving.
What is your
Salt.
craving?
I want meat. I want like fried things.
Okay.
I want burgers. I want
Yeah.
fried chicken or KFC. I mean, the people at McDonald's Grand Bazaar, they see me very often. They might be confused because they might see this fit person like every day, like not every day, but like every week pulling up. I'm like,
Yeah.
how are you? How are you?
Meal. Cheap.
What's your go-to at McDonald's?
Damn. I can't. Okay, so
What's your go-to
it's
at
really
McDonald's?
bad.
What is
It's
your go-to meal at
really
McDonald's?
bad. It's really bad. I would a large double quarter pounder combo. Right? Oh my God, Perry doesn't watch stuff on YouTube. A large double quarter pounder combo, 10-piece nuggets by itself,
Wow.
an apple pie.
Not the apple pie.
And depending on the state, I might get a McFlurry, an Oreo McFlurry with
Wow.
chocolate fudge.
All this is one order.
One order, and I'll just be like in the car park.
How you gonna
Pigging out. He's just pigging out in the car park like everything is.
Car park, yeah,
He's like, all these things I'm not supposed
and
to
then,
eat.
and then head back to the hospital. Like, and so I mean, I keep thinking to myself, boy, if I could just somehow find a way to eliminate this one stress thing that I'm doing, because that's like that could be like 4,000 calories, 5,000
Yeah.
calories in one shot.
So, one thing that I do when I'm in prep, I look at food videos or like mukbangs of people eating.
Why? What does not make you upset?
No, like I don't know, like is the mood. I love them. Like I love to see people eating like really bad, like cheesy mac and cheese or
upsets me.
like a burger or like smacking their lips while eating. Mind you, if this was any other time, if somebody sat next to me and smacked their lips while eating, I'd be so disgusted. But I love looking at those types of videos.
That upsets
Wow.
So like in the gym, Marva, in what's the name of this gym we just moved to? You went,
Fitness
Marva?
center.
Fitness Center, Marval. The ab machine is in front of this TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it's have it on the Food Network.
Oh yeah. Oh my
So
god.
like right after the workout, and I'm doing like the last thing, which would be abs every now and again. I'm looking up, and they'll have people like making ridiculously
Yes.
delicious things. I'm like,
I think
why
this-
they have to think that people.
I think
this
that's
to
not
make
smart.
people-
Why
my
would
God,
you
the other
put the
day,
Food Network
somebody-
on at the gym? That's not nice.
I've been thinking about it. I'm like, are they trying to like make people go eat? Because the more their clients go,
Eat.
The
It's the
more
more they
they
have
come back
weight
to
to
the gym,
lose.
maybe.
Oh my
I
Oh
don't
my god,
god.
the other day it was on Food Network and somebody was making like this pulled pork brisket. Oh my gosh. I was just like,
I think
yeah.
that's torturous.
Yeah.
while working out.
I think that's torturous.
I love it. I don't know. Maybe I like torturing myself. That's
Maybe
why-
you live vicariously
bodybuilding.
through these people
I think that's
eating,
what it is. And I'm like, I'm so happy that they're eating and it's like
and they're enjoying it.
looks so
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so
While I sit here and eat this bush and chicken.
I want to do some top fives with you.
Okay.
All right, so a young lady comes up to you, flat, right? And she's like, she needs the top 5 exercises to build glutes. Top 5 in order, 1, and then go back down. So the most important, and come back down.
Can it only be exercises or would it be my top 5 tips?
Top 5 tips.
Eat. Just to eat.
Okay.
That would be my number 1 tip for her. Eat. Make sure her protein intake is high enough.
What does that mean, you know?
1 gram per pound that she weighs.
No, yeah, it's 1 gram. Well, I think what Perry uses is 1.25 to 1.5. 1.25 to 1.5.
Well, I'm doing
gram.
one because
female.
my
Maybe it's
yeah,
female,
I'm
right.
doing one because I need to come down a little bit.
Right.
You're probably doing more because you need to build more muscle
Yeah,
mass.
yeah.
Yeah, but I would tell her at least make sure that her protein intake is at least 1.
1 gram per
Per-
pound of body weight.
Yeah.
So if she is 130 pounds, she should be eating 130 grams of protein.
Correct. So that would be my first tip. In terms of exercises, glute bridges, abductors. Ooh, I think that one is so underrated. The abductors for these sides.
How are you doing the abductor? Which abductors you talking about? Because there's lots of different type of abductor things. Which abductor thing you think it's in the
The sit down machine.
The sit-down machine?
The sit down machine one.
just sitting down or the whole lean forward thing?
It depends. It hits different angle.
So if you was being specific, I was like, do this one,
Okay, if I had to say do this one,
traditional,
upright, as in sitting upright,
right?
not back onto the seat, but up and
Just
not
leaning oh,
and not leaned forward,
okay,
just up.
okay,
Yeah. So hip thrusts, abductors, cable kickbacks.
okay. So we have 4 things so far. Eat,
Yeah.
those 3 exercises, and what's the last one?
One more for the gluticals. Oh my
You
God.
think they're good there? You think they're good with those?
Ooh, I think
Banded walks? No, I don't know. I
so,
see all the
yeah, I do side to side walks. I hate those. So sorry, I dislike those.
Right.
So I wouldn't probably put that as my top. And I think the abductors hit those side muscles. So my last one would be, ooh, you know what it would be? Leg press, high, legs high and wide.
Legs high and wide.
Yes. So,
Leg press.
Yeah. So that you can target the glutes.
Okay, okay. All right, so top 3 supplements. Because a lot of people, they want to start working out and they're like overly obsessed about what supplements to get. What would you say is okay? If you had to get something, what do you tell them?
If I had to get supplements, BCAAs.
That's number 1?
BCAAs.
That's the first thing?
That's my first one.
Sheesh.
Protein, but that's if you can't eat enough. Again, let me just make a disclaimer. Nobody needs any supplements. Once you can eat enough food and get your nutrition from food, you don't need to buy supplements. You don't need all this crazy stuff. But if you really do need it, based on the fact that you can't intake enough food, like real whole food, then I would say BCAAs is my first. Protein would be my second. And third, a multivitamin.
Multivitamin.
Yeah.
Okay, for me it's different. I feel like first one would be protein, a protein supplement. Second one would be creatine.
Okay.
And then the third one would be the BCAAs. Especially something that I like to put the BCAAs in my water that I drink throughout
Yeah.
the day. Yeah. So that makes it a little bit more tasty, easier to take 3 liters
Yeah.
throughout the day, right? And the protein for me, I think people don't understand how important it is to hit that protein threshold.
Yeah.
Because if you're working out and you're not hitting the numbers that we just talked about, the 1 gram per pound for
Yeah.
females or the 1.25 to 1.5 for males, and you're trying to work out specifically with the intention of like putting on muscle, you're not going to have enough protein to put on that muscle. And what your body is going to do is, say you do legs, it's going to break down muscle from a next part of your body, turn that into amino acids, and then carry that to the part of the body that you just worked, and you'll end up just spinning top in mud.
Yeah.
Breaking down your legs to put on your chest, breaking down your chest
So
to put on
there's
your
no real
legs, and you
growth.
Right.
won't get the growth.
You don't get the overall.
And for me, protein
look.
is important because when my protein intake is high enough or proper, the soreness doesn't come.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I make sure and have my protein intake.
Right. Agreed. So, but it's tricky, because, as you said, you don't need to do this. This is not something that everybody needs to do. But
Yeah.
if you're trying to put on muscle, it's very important, and it's difficult to do naturally.
Yes.
Because naturally meaning just through the food that you're eating, right? Because if I'm 240 pounds right now, and I need to get 1.25 to 1.5 grams per pound,
That's a
like
lot.
about 300. That's like about 300 grams of protein. Where a chicken breast is
4 ounces or less.
so let's do it in grams of protein. Like an average chicken breast is supposed to be, I believe, 20 grams of protein,
Wow.
Yes.
right? So then if
How many chicken breasts are you trying to eat?
so it's
In a day.
in a day,
In a day.
Right.
day, right? So what's 300?
Every day.
300 divided by 20 is how much? 200.
It's like 12 or something.
15?
It's like 15.
Yeah, between 12 and 15.
So that's 15 chicken breasts, which is very difficult
That
to
is
do and very
also
expensive.
that is ridiculous to
Very
eat 15 chicken
Right?
in a day.
In a day, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I
a lot.
saw a funny meme the other day that you have to thank the thousands of chickens that that have died for your average physique after 2 years of working out seriously, because of the amount of eggs, most likely the amount
Yeah.
of eggs and chicken breasts that you've eaten, you've probably just like taken out colonies.
So funny
colonies of-
story. I buy eggs by the crate, by this greengrocer, and one day the lady is like, "Oh, you bake?"
Yeah, what you doing with
And
all
I'm
them eggs?
like,
What you doing with all them
"Hey,
eggs?
what are you doing with all these eggs? Every week I buy 2 crates of eggs."
Wow.
And she's like, "You bake?" And I'm like, "Mm-hmm."
There's some more questions here, right? So, what is the best compliment you ever got at the gym?
That my back looks strong.
You have a strong back,
I
big
have a
girl.
strong back.
So my best compliment that I've gotten, and I like to get it, but it's like, I guess, controversial. Like, people ask me if I'm taking steroids, and I'm like,
That's a compliment for you. You're like, yeah.
no,
No, I'm not, but yeah, I look like I do.
I just got
No,
here
I
naturally,
just got
you know,
here
like
naturally.
I've been putting in that work.
But I mean, realistically, like, my body is nowhere close to a
Yeah.
steroid body.
Right.
Yeah, it's nowhere close.
I think what happens is that people see the rapid change,
Rapid change.
and they're like, I've been working out for all this time and my body hasn't changed that quickly. Clearly, you are
You must be doing
something
something.
extra.
You're doing something extra.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why some
Yeah, I've
people
gotten that too, the steroid.
because you got it too,
Yeah.
right? So because I'm a gym owner, people find it strange when I tell them, "Oh, I'm going to Diego Martin to train." I'm like, "What? Why aren't you training at your own gym?"
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's because I wanted to train with Perry because he has a wealth of knowledge that I didn't have in the types of training that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was familiar with as an athlete in terms of strength and conditioning, which most people associate with like sport performance, right? Which is a completely different thing. And a lot of people try to, a lot of trainers try to use strength and conditioning to get people aesthetic results.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult. It often doesn't work. It's good because you might be thinking, okay, I'm going to do these strength and conditioning exercises that athletes do, that maybe playing football
Yeah.
or running track or something like that, because you're seeing these people with great bodies who are running track and stuff, and you think that, okay, if I do the exercises they do in the gym, I'm going to look like them. But the reality is, besides the strength and conditioning that they're doing, they're playing a whole sport.
Yeah.
They're playing a whole sport 5 days a week, 6 days a week, etc. We good? Yeah. So with Perry, I'm learning. I'm really trying to pay attention to the techniques he uses, because he can get such good results with light weights.
Yeah.
With
So-
light weights.
So has training with him changed the way that you train or you structure training at your own gym?
Well, I have strength and conditioning coaches, because most people who come to the gym for our fitness circuits, they're interested in wellness, moving better, mobility,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So I've guided them. So I've created a program for people who want to change aesthetically, and it's an option. But most people don't opt for it. Most people,
Really?
yeah, most people opt for just being able to move better and feel better
Interesting.
and that sort of thing. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought most people would be interested in it, but they end up wanting to just move better and stuff. So the option's there.
Okay.
The option is there.
Okay.
You know what I think it is? I realize with my gym is that it attracts people who want to have fun working out.
Okay, got it.
And they need to, I guess, be entertained by it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they want to do an exciting thing. They want to do kickboxing, they want to do boxing.
They look for non-traditional forms
They're
of
looking for
fitness
non-traditional
training.
things.
Yeah.
And with bodybuilding, we are doing the same exercises every day. Or like
single day.
it's the same thing. It's the same exercise, but
Right.
most people who like come to us, or just the average person, they want to change. They want to to do a new thing or a new cool
Something
thing. Be stimulated.
exciting.
Yeah, they want to be stimulated. But I know if I hit this bench press over and over and over, I see what's happening to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. I'm real excited. When I watch myself in the mirror, I'm like, wow, look at this change that's
And not
happened.
only that, if you go from like a 80 to 85 and then 85 to 90 while you're doing the same,
Yeah,
pushing
exactly.
doing the same exercise, pushing different weights, it's like,
Yeah. All right, so let's go. What is the worst comment you ever got while working out? I'm not sure if there's one.
worst comment I ever got while working out.
Like you ever got like a comment that was like real out of time in mid workout.
The worst comment, and this is probably going to sound stupid, but the worst comment is like, oh, you're training for wellness, meaning
It's too big.
that my legs are too big. And that's the general feedback I've been getting, right?
Oh wow.
So, and this is like close to a show, and it's like, you're training for wellness. Or, are you a wellness athlete or a bikini athlete? And I'm like, I'm in bikini. Okay. Which means that I just have a lot more work
Work
to do
to
in
do,
terms of
yeah.
bringing my legs down. So, it's not a bad comment,
No, I understand exactly.
but
what you mean.
in terms of where I want to be and where I need to be, it's kind of like, oh my gosh.
Right.
So
What was yours?
so like somebody was trying to like they were trying to give me a compliment, I guess.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're looking small. Right? And I think they were trying to say
Did I say that to you?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
I guess they were trying to say that I guess I looked leaner, right? But they're just like, hey, I find you looking small, boy. And I was just like,
That's not the effect I'm going for.
and I'm thinking about all these dead chickens that I'm trying to like stuff into me to get as big as possible. But yeah, so sometimes people's compliment or what they're trying.
Yes.
to
It doesn't.
say, it doesn't translate well to what you're thinking you're trying to achieve. But yeah, it is silly. It's more on our part than them.
I
saying
was now
something
thinking,
back.
is that part of our
It's us, it's
own
us.
internal body dysmorphia
Yes.
or our own
Yes,
image
yes.
issues? Because those things are not bad things.
No.
Either of those compliments or statements were
Regular,
not bad
yeah.
things. They're like, the
Yeah.
average person would be
Would
like,
no wanna hear
oh
that.
yeah.
They wouldn't.
But in context,
look nice,
it's
or
really the
you- yeah,
opposite
look-
of what you're trying to get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the strangest thing you've ever seen in the gym?
Strangest thing.
I'm not sure if anything strange. You're in the gym and you're like watching something and it's like, what is this person doing?
I always so two things. One,
Be careful, you got it.
okay, one thing. I guess now because I understand technique and why I'm doing certain things, I always see people doing tricep kickbacks
Okay.
really awkwardly. They're just like flinging their hands. I'm like, bro, what are you
What-
doing?
Is it the speed?
The speed and just I guess the angle and, or you know what too? Apart from tricep kickbacks, they're doing rows, like bent to one single arm rows.
Right.
They're just like, and I'm like, slow it down.
But is it strange? I guess. But I think they don't know any better. They don't, but you know what I started thinking? Or what was revealed to me, I guess? You don't know what people are training for. And
That is very true.
yes,
That is very true.
They could be athletes, right? They could be athletes because maybe, you know. So the reason I say that is that throughout my career of going to the gym, when just starting off exercising at home with my dad, and then going to a gym with a personal trainer, and then being an athlete, and then doing this bodybuilding thing with Perry, they've been different exercises that need to be done differently.
I
at
agree,
different
yeah.
rates. They that's what was taught, right? But you're right. A lot of people are in the gym for aesthetics.
Yes.
And they don't understand that time under tension is one of the biggest things that triggers growth.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that the more intensely they do the exercise, the better it is, because
Yes.
then they get more tired. So thus, it must be better.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
it's the same. If I don't sweat, I didn't have a good workout
Yeah.
thing.
And they try to pound it out as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And that kind of decreases the whole effect that you're going for, because you want to work
Exactly.
you want to condition the muscle to withstand that certain level of
Exactly.
weight or pressure, you know.
okay. All right. So non-gym
Okay, no,
question.
but now I want to hear what was the weirdest thing you saw at the gym.
The weirdest thing that I've seen at the gym. I think it'd probably be some outfits, boy. I feel like I've seen some guys wear some very risky things at the
Pum
gym.
pum shots.
Pum pum shorts. So you know what it is? It'll be like so like they have Nike compression
Tights.
tights, but then there's also Nike compression under tights.
No, I didn't know that.
Like it's supposed to be worn
Underneath.
underpants.
Yeah.
Some people just come in and like, yeah, I get my Nike thing. So I go in and I bring
Everything
my thing
printing
yeah.
out.
And they're just wearing this underwear. It's just an underwear and a t-shirt and the sneakers, and they just trying their best. And then I think that would probably be the worst thing I've seen in person myself. But and then I mean, this is people laugh at me all the time because I've been real short pants in the gym too. So I guess maybe I should. It's still the weirdest thing I've seen. Even so, the whole thing against me has been wearing my own short pants too. All right, so non-gym questions. Do you think that? Do you think that that reality is real or simulation? You ever heard people talk about that? Like, is this a simulation? Gotcha.
If reality is
Real or simulation? You ever heard people talk about this? There's a theory that some people think that we're living in a simulation. You ever heard that? Anybody talk about that?
No.
Like the Matrix.
Like the Matrix, yeah.
So yes, I have heard people speak about it. I don't think it's a simulation. I just think reality is based on your perception.
Reality is right.
So I don't know if reality is a real thing, but I don't think we're in a simulation.
Okay. Come on, you ever thought about this one?
I have, and I usually get back to the same point. At which point does it really matter if we're in the simulation or not, because there's a consciousness behind it? And so am I an avatar in this suit, and that the thing that's controlling my brain is, or the thing that's controlling what I see in front of me is connected to some machine somewhere else in some different dimension of space and time? But why? Why is it there? And how is it that I still have the ability to make decisions in this simulation and act and learn and grow? So at the end of the day, I still come back to the same point. So even if I am in a simulation and what I'm seeing in front of me is not real, what's guiding it? And where is that consciousness coming from? And what do I have to do there anyway?
What do you have to do there? What do you mean?
So how did I get to that point of being, let's say,
Back in the real place.
wherever? If this is the simulation, then where's the real consciousness coming from? And back there, what is the mission there anyway? Regardless, is it to gain some kind of conscious or spiritual awakening to move past there, or is it that I'm really just connected to some machines and some tubes and people are testing me to see how I'm gonna, or not
React.
people, but things are testing me to see how
In this simulation.
in this simulation, exactly. So what is the point
Nikki's like, I
anyway?
wasn't prepared for this.
I
Yeah.
wasn't.
What is the point anyway?
So this is some random one. So like do you watch Joe Rogan podcast?
No.
Okay, so Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson was on it, and he explained this is where I first kind of saw the concept of the simulation thing, and I didn't really take it too seriously before that, but the way he explained it made it seem very probable that we could be living in a simulation. I was like, oh wow, that's weird. So the way he described it was, or the way he asked people to try to visualize it was, imagine the infinity of time, right? And how long that would be, right? And then imagine that across that infinity of time, planet Earth exists in this rock, humans existing on the planet Earth and now reaching to the past like 60 years and having all this technology developed in the past few decades, right? And how advanced it's gotten to the point that in the past, let's say 30 to 40 years, we now have video games, right? And we have VR headsets, and there are video games that you can play where your character is playing a video game in that video game, and that sort of thing has happened. So like, I remember back when I was like 12, there's a video game I was playing where the character used to go to an arcade and play games as another character. And used
Right.
to be controlling that second.
Layers of
Right?
virtual
And I was like-
reality.
so there was the layers. There were layers of reality. There were layers happening there, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, "So now imagine that's happened in such a short period of time, right? What are the chances? So there's a character. There's me playing a game as a character, who's playing a game as a character,
Yeah.
right? So he was like, what are the chances that across the infinity of time that this character that I am is
Being played
the
by
re-
someone
the
else.
one real character,
Right.
like this is the real situation. How do we know that? Because it's most likely going to keep like going further and further
Yeah.
and further. and further. So there's a new game out. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but this new game out that lots of people are playing where essentially you are teaming up with other people around the world and you are going to different planets to stop this universal war like that going across a whole galaxy or whatever. So you're going to different planets and teaming up with thousands and thousands of people, and I'm like, that's happening right now, and I'm sure there are layers and layers of things happening in that video game, right? So again, what are the chances that this one that we're in right now is the real one? Yeah, and yeah. So I thought that was an interesting way to think about it. So he said he was saying that it's highly improbable that this one is the real one.
That the life that we're in now is the real life.
Yeah.
That we're a character.
There'll be so many iterations going forward.
Yeah.
How do we know that this is the starting point? Why would this? It'll be improbable for this one to be the starting point.
But isn't this just the starting point of each person? Because no two people have the same starting point.
What do you mean?
As in, well, some two people have the same starting point. Like if you were born on the same day, but your starting point was different from mine because
Yeah,
we
so
were
just like
born
in a-
different
so
in
ju-
different years.
So just like in a multiplayer video game,
Your membership
some-
starts at a different
somebody
time.
Somebody starts, and
Yeah.
you go through the game, thing. You
They
achieve
move up
different goals,
levels.
then your characters die, and then is load back, or you just come back as a next character. You just choose a next character, and just come back as that
So
character.
is that a new way of asking if you believe in reincarnation?
I guess because not necessarily because we don't know. I don't think they are. I don't think they are synonymous. That that reincarnation and the simulation is happening. I don't know. I think they're two concepts that could be intertwined, but it doesn't mean that okay because the simulation it is reincarnation. I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a techie way of asking, hey, do you believe in reincarnation? Because it's like, okay, when your character expires,
You run out of life.
you run out of life and you get a new character.
Yeah, or you play a whole different video game.
Exactly.
Right.
Completely different thing. Yeah. All right.
That's interesting.
so different one.
Took me on a loop there.
Which apocalyptic scenario would you
Whoa.
prefer? Right. So you have
Would you prefer?
5 minutes notice, right? You have 5 minutes notice. You are going to survive this, and then continue living on into whatever.
So I know I'm going to survive.
You are going
Okay.
to survive, but so now you're going to be living in this post-apocalyptic world, right? First one would be fast zombies,
Wow.
right? Clickers, you know what clickers are?
No.
So clickers are a different type of zombie, right? So clickers, right? They're blind, right? But they like make a clicking noise, and they're like bats. So they use echolocation to find different things. So they kind of just walk around clicking to see what's bouncing off things as they move around to
So
find.
they can get
And clickers are also
distance and
fast. They
proximity.
aren't like slow zombies, right? So we have two kind of zombie situations, right? And then nuclear nuclear war, right? And the last one would be a solar flare. A solar flare. So you could choose any one. Which one do you think you could like handle the best?
Nuclear war.
Nuclear war. Okay. And you chose the same thing before?
I agree, nuclear war. Yeah, I think I chose it before.
Yeah.
Nuclear war. I'm not into the zombies.
These zombies just freak
I'm
me
sorry.
out. Like, I feel like if it's nuclear, we can get a bunker or something.
And I
that
mean,
you can
I feel
just-
like in Trinidad, nobody. I mean, we kind of safe.
Well, people get bombed on.
Right?
Nobody
I
said
think
We're
we
God's
safe.
favorite. And like, you could get a bunker. You could, hide underground. I don't know. Like, I feel like,
I feel like with the solar flare, too much vegetation and life form is gonna be destroyed. So like eating is gonna be a problem after the solar flare. So I'm good with the nuclear war. I mean, might have some mutations of things going on after the nuclear war.
But
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
these zombie
Yeah.
things, I'm not.
And not only
cool with.
zombies.
Because I just feel like you have to be running all the time. And you said they're fast.
And you listen, them fast zombies, you dead already. Like
Yeah.
how
I know you said I'm
how?
going to survive, but I just see myself running a lot.
Come on, running and hiding from fast
Get the
zombies.
cardio in. I'm sure you'll be
Yeah,
thinking
like-
about it. But
And then the clickers who can find you will click click. No, I'm good.
Right.
I ain't
Like,
even
am
hear you
studying-
click yet and
I
you
am
up on
studying
me.
to be able to have enough food to survive. I don't want to be running from zombies, burning out all the little.
No,
What
I take it in
nutrition that I do
nuclear
have.
war.
okay, next
Yeah.
one. Do you believe in aliens? Do you think aliens have let me be more specific. Do you believe aliens have made contact with Earth?
Yes.
Ooh, I like how fast you said that. Why think so strongly?
Because I don't believe that we as humans are the only life forms out there. There are so many different planets. And each planet has like different scenarios, different
Makeups,
different
Yeah.
makeups in terms of
the structure, the
exactly.
ecosystems.
exactly.
Okay, so,
So,
the chances are there are aliens.
Yeah, so the chances are that there are other life forms and that had to adapt to live on whatever those planets are. Yeah, I think aliens definitely
Exist, right? So why do you think what you answered quickly was that you think they've made contact?
Yes.
Why that?
Also, because like some of these structures or some of the things that humans have come up with, or some of the development that humans have come up with, I don't think it is within our own understanding, within the human brain to come up with certain things.
Like what?
So, for example, the pyramids.
Yeah. Good example.
Yeah. I don't know if, and that's way back Wednesday, when we didn't have the technology that we had now. So I do think aliens made contact with
100%,
humans.
right? 100%?
If I think so, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
What percentage? All right, okay. So no, right?
80%.
80%, that's real room. That's real room. 20%? But okay, if that's...
I 100% think that aliens have made contacts,
Okay, so no, right?
if we want to call them aliens.
If I felt like if I called you all up one day, Saturday at 9 p.m., and I'm like, Nikki, I just saw an alien. Like, for real, I really just saw an alien.
I want to know exactly what you saw, when you saw it, what
Yeah.
you heard, what were you doing, what you
You
ate
need
that
to
day.
go over this experience with me like a million times.
I want to know.
In detail.
I want all the details.
Minute details.
Okay, so here's the story, all right? I came home from the gym, came home from working out, pulled into the driveway. Choreo, it usually comes to meet me by the car. He didn't this time. I was like, that's weird, right? Came out to the car, and I see this person playing with Choreo, like in the backyard. I'm like, that's weird. And immediately, I get like,
Who's this?
who's this? I'm worried because usually there's nobody there with the dog, and Coreo's like wild, and Coreo's just like quiet. He's just sitting down, right? So then I get out to the car, And as soon as I get out of the car, the person who's playing with Corey just stands up and they're like 10 feet tall, right? Turn towards me. Corey just stays sitting down, facing the direction he was facing before. So he's facing away from me, doesn't move. Corey just is like locked in place. So this 10-foot creature, gray, big eyes, walks towards me, right? And he stops just like 2 feet in front of me, and he just like stares at me, and I just stare at it. I don't know what to do, right? And then the alien just walks away, jumps over the wall, and disappears. So then, and like 20 minutes later, after I catch myself, right, I call you and I'm like, this thing just happened. You can feel free to ask any questions.
Is this
Describe. I want to. What exactly was he looking like? This 10-foot tall thing.
Gray, slim, well-defined muscles, long chest.
What was his skin
long
like?
chest,
well-defined muscles?
Yeah,
Long limbs.
legs.
What kind of skin? Like you said, it was gray. Like what is it? Scaly or
Smooth.
smooth, like human skin?
It looked drier, more like
Leathery?
leather. Yeah, leathery. Yeah.
Damn.
Keep on coming.
How long ago you saw
Real
it?
thing that
Keep
happened,
on coming.
or did you just make this?
Do you have any more questions?
Is it a real thing that happened, or did
Give
you
me
just
more
make
questions. Give me more questions.
Like how long ago was that?
How long ago was that? No, this was no on the no. So this is me, and I give.
Yeah. I'm just saying these are the questions I would ask. Like how long ago was like today it just happened? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So he jumped
I just
over the
made.
wall.
I'm just. This is a.
Yeah. Complete fictional. Yeah.
So he jumped over the wall.
Just jumped. Yeah. Just jump.
You think
Clean.
an alien will jump?
And then what did Corio do?
That's what he did.
Okay.
All I know is that that's what he did.
And then what did Corio do? At what point did Corio return to some kind of normalcy?
About a. He's still kind of frozen. He's still frozen.
What you telling me? I 100% believe it.
You'd 100% believe me.
I believe you.
I would think that you had some sort of hallucination
Sure.
or something.
Right. So now what? Because the alien jumped over the wall.
Yeah. It's like,
I believe you.
I feel like the alien will just ascend. Right? It's not going to jump over the wall.
I believe it. I believe he could do whatever he wants.
We're expecting things because of things we see on shows, right? But what he did was he jumped over the wall.
Where you going? Like,
I don't know.
You don't know how much of them was
but yeah.
just
I didn't go to see.
how
because
much of them
they
just
had
jumping and then
behind the wall. So
in the
I
yard.
just see right there. Suppose the alien is my neighbor. I don't know. I'm not going to find
Yeah.
out. See, the alien was my neighbor all the time, and then
Or that
Yeah,
they
I-
have recently taken over.
no, simply because he jumped over the wall.
Yes.
Okay. So then it has to add up with what you expect an alien to do.
I suppose so.
So how would you all that?
How you know what an alien gonna do?
I guess. But even like you describing the alien is based on what you've seen in a movie.
Not really. I just brought it up on spot. Whatever.
Right, because it's based on what you've seen in a movie. So I guess we all have our own perception
but
of
with
what
I guess with aliens, no, because I've seen aliens jump over things.
you've seen aliens.
Like for example, like if we look at like Predator. Predator could ascend, but he's also jump over real thing.
Yeah,
Tree and thing.
it's
so I said
true.
alien climb the tree. Predators climb trees.
I know,
aliens-
but
And
that
sometimes they have a
situation
agenda. They
it-
don't want to leave immediately. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, they might go back to the mothership, but if they have something else they want
And
to
what
do,
if
they
that's-
might just go somewhere else and hide out in the
Right.
meantime.
It's like the alien's pet. It's not like
It's not like one in control.
like the main
Right,
one. It's
right.
just
It's like one of the
like a
minions.
droney thing that's sent out to do things.
A little minion.
cool,
Kind of
cool,
different
cool,
stuff.
cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. You 80% believe, and what would you need to know? Like how would you believe a story?
So for me, I would have to see it myself.
Right. You'd have to. So that's the only way.
Yeah.
I believe
No matter
you.
What I told you, you just be like, Edson hallucinated.
Yeah.
And that, is that right?
Basically,
Yeah.
basically.
Until you see it yourself.
Until I see it myself.
though you're 80%
Or
believe.
or unless there was some sort of evidence like the alien left this random
Goo or some kind of.
rock or meteor or something that it brought from another planet that I can see
Right.
and like it's
No,
tangible.
the fact that it's Corio we're talking about and Corio's jump up on everybody, I believe
That would
you.
be the key one.
I believe you. If Corio just sat still and is still kind of frozen,
so
I
why couldn't it have
believe
been a
you.
ghost?
So what are we? Who are we to say that a ghost and the alien is not
Like
the same
what we
thing?
think about alien is our ghost.
How we know it's not the same thing? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's out of this world.
All right, so last one. What is a conspiracy theory that you believe that people are like, "Nikki, what are you talking about? Like, they don't believe you." Do you have any conspiracy theories that you believe in that, like, when you're talking to your friends or your family, they'd be like, nah, Nikki, you need to drink some tea and relax yourself. Because you 80% believe in aliens. You said aliens one time.
Yeah.
So that means you're most likely he might think some things, some other things that other people will be like, nah. No?
I can't think of any, no.
Besides aliens, and then everything else is like,
Dinosaurs, I believe they existed. That's not like
That's me.
That's not really a
crazy. I just
conspiracy
think that's
theory.
something
what
crazy.
would be a conspiracy theory is if you thought dinosaurs didn't exist? That might be one, you know.
Yeah, and there's nothing that I could think of that I.
I 100% believe that there's a secret society of world's leaders that sit and they have several agendas and they know way more than they let on. And they are making decisions based on their interests. They know about potential alien threats and things that are going to happen in the future. I think they work with psychics and I think they go around kidnapping people or offering them money to work with them separately
These are
and
very
inform them
specific
on.
things.
Yeah, there are many conspiracy theories that I
But
believe
in
in.
one, like
Yeah, I believe there's a
in
secret
one,
society aware of all of this and keeping it hidden.
like why that as opposed to like, so for example, if like government leaders, because government leaders do know secrets.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and the secrets that they can't just tell the public. So is that the secret society?
No.
Like, what do you mean?
I would say that maybe from each government, maybe, or at least a representative of each country has been drafted into the secret society.
It's really specific.
I believe so. I think that that's real.
Why? Like, how?
Why? I
You
feel
understand
like
you
the
understand what-
birth of other conspiracy theories and the amount of effort put into individual and independent researchers to prove some of these conspiracy theories true gives some merit to them because there's evidence for and evidence against, and I feel like if once there's some evidence for, that there's a high possibility that it's true and people are covering the truth.
Once there's some evidence for something,
I feel like it's a possibility that the truth is being hidden.
okay. I feel like I guess because I feel like there's a high probability that there is a group of people who know more things than other people. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
But I guess you said so many specific things that this group does. I'm like, why come up with such specifics?
Just
What
the
is
way
it?
things have, I guess, spiraled after the first, your first encounter with people talking about conspiracy theories. Over the past 10 to 20 years, we see that some things that we thought were, outlandish or, not really not true. We starting to see 20 years later a lot of documentation coming out to say, yeah, this was really a cover up. They knew all the time. Who are they? Who are these people?
Who's
Yeah.
they? That's what I'm like.
No, but the fact that there's so much information that is being hidden, I feel like there's a group that's in charge of hiding it.
I guess. Okay, I feel you. So, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thanks so much, Nikki. Really appreciate it for coming by. I'm sure I surprised you with some of the questions at the end.
I know, right?
But you did good. You held it together.
Thanks
You
so
held it
much for
together
having
pretty
me.
good. Really appreciate it. And I will see you in training probably tomorrow. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Kamada.
No problem.
Really appreciate it. So, guys, please like and subscribe if you thought that was interesting. And feel free to also comment your takes on any questions that we might have asked each other. If you all have any conspiracy theories you all might have had, or think that there are better exercises for glute development, we love to hear your takes as well, right? If there are other topics you'd love to see Trinis talk about, you could also comment or send me a DM. That'll be helpful. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.